Welcome to Digimon.
Hello and welcome to Digimon. The Digimon card game has now been out since 2020, and since then a lot of Digimon have been made into cards. But not all of them. In this video we're going to look at a small section of Digimon that are not yet in the card game, as well as what those cards might do. This is 10 Digimon that are not in the Digimon card game, but could be soon. And spoiler alert, we're technically looking at more than 10 actual Digimon, but I've grouped up some of them just to neaten things up. To start us off, let's take a look at Digimon Story Time Stranger and the Olympus 12. Most of the Olympus 12 have been made into cards, with some of them actually having multiple different appearances, such as the two different prints of Marsmon. But there are in fact 3 members of the Olympus 12 that have not yet made appearances in the card game. These are Bacchusmon, Volcanusmon, and Jupitermon. And on top of that, there are a few mode changes that we also haven't seen, which are Jupitermon Wrath Mode, Junomon Hysteric Mode, and Ceramon Medium. As for what they'd do, we can get an idea of this by looking at previous decks such as Royal Knights, 7 Great Demon Lords, and Adventure for inspiration. All of these decks had shared traits among them that ultimately coalesced into one deck, and given that we have already had confirmation of Time Stranger or TS traded cards from the collector's edition of the game, there is a very strong possibility that we will get a Time Stranger themed set that will include the Olympus 12 and put them all into one deck. They could all have on-play effects and some sort of cost reduction mechanics similar to that of Yggdrasil or Gate, or they could maybe take more of a classic stack building approach, creating a central stack with Agiomon to eventually digivolve up into Jupitermon and play out other members of the Olympus 12. Also, seeming they have not been in the card game either, all of Agiomon's forms will most likely make an appearance sometime in the future. Something that could also be cool would be the interactions between Junomon and Jupitermon. The pair of them are both based on the Roman gods Juno and Jupiter, who in turn were based on the Greek gods Hera and Zeus, meaning that they are intrinsically linked lovers and defenders of each other. Maybe both of them could have effects to play out the other for a reduced cost, and then have effects that react when the other would leave the field. For Jupitermon, when a Junomon would leave the battle area, you may delete this Digimon to digivolve a Junomon into a Junomon Hysteria in your hand or trash instead. And likewise, a new Junomon could have the same effect, but would delete itself to allow Jupitermon to digivolve into Wrath Mode instead. I think that would be pretty cool. Next, I wanted to divert from Time Stranger and take a look at Cross Wars. We currently have 3 of the big Death Stars, or Death Generals, in the card game. Dorbicmon, Zamielmon, and Apollomon. Though I don't think any of the Apollomon that have been in the game have ever had the big Death Stars trait, and the other 2 both were printed a while ago. But we are still missing over half of the Death Stars. Neomyotusmon, Splashmon, Olegmon, and Gravimon have never appeared in the card game. We could potentially see them plus retrains of Dorbicmon, Zamielmon, and Apollomon all in one deck, but I think it's more likely that it would have separate decks due to the fact they each ran their own separate kingdoms and armies in the anime. But saying that, if they did all go in one deck, we may see an appearance from Grand Generoman, who is just all kinds of... Why? Genuinely did not know this Digimon existed before making the script for this video, and he will be in my nightmares for several nights after the video releases. And yes, you've caught me, I've never actually watched Digimon Fusion. I know, I've not watched all of the Digimon shows, fake fan, but if you guys recommend I watch it, then maybe I will. As for Grand Generoman, what would this absolute nightmare do? Well, given he is from Cross Wars, he'd most likely have a Digicross using the big Death Stars as material. Or maybe it could have assembly like the EX9 Chimeramon. That'd be cool. Given how many Digimon make up Grand Generoman, he's probably going to need, like, all of the keywords. I've gone with Rush, Security Attack +1, Collision, and Piercing. On play, when attacking once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon for each of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then, if this Digimon has 7 differently named Digimon with the big Death Stars trait in its Digivolution cards, this Digimon is unaffected by your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's turn. End of opponent's turn, trash one of this Digimon's Digivolution cards and trash the top of your opponent's security. Give it a bunch of inheritables from the big Death Stars, and this would shape up to be a real nightmare. Given that BT23 will be centered around Hacker's memory, let's next look at Arcadium. all of the Arcadium forms took a prominent role in Hacker's memory after Ryuji went off the deep end, so there's a very strong chance they will appear in that sense. In terms of what they would do, I think it'd be great to see them mimic how they would consume other Digimon in the game. Each Arcadiumon could have an on-play when attacking effect to place a Digimon of the same level in its Digivolution cards. And you could do this with either your Digimon or your opponent's. Absorbing your opponent's Digimon into your sources would obviously be a very unique way of removal that could even get around effects that revolve around Digimon leaving the battle area. They never left the battle area, they just got sucked up into Arcadiumon. But what if you decide to absorb your own Digimon? Well, each Arcadiumon could have a your turn effect to increase the level maximum of this Digimon's effects by 1, meaning, if you were dedicated enough, one of your level 3 Arcadiumon could eventually absorb much higher level targets. Could this effect be busted? Sure. But I'm not here for game balance. I'm here to make up cool sugar honey iced tea. If you wanted instead, you could just go for a more generic effect to reduce the cost of Digivolution when digivolving into a Digimon with Arcadium on its name. But that's not as fun now, is it? Seeming as we're talking about Hacker's memory, let's take a look at Hoodimmon, who, as it turns out, is a really interesting Digimon in the lore of the game. I myself am playing through Hacker's memory at the moment, and I am not actually at the point where Hoodimmon has appeared just yet. So to theorise what Hoodimmon might do, I had to spoil a part of the game for myself. Like and subscribe for me purposely making something less enjoyable for the sake of a script? Would appreciate it as we're getting close to 1k. Anyways, on to Hoodimmon. Hoodimmon, within the context of the game, is the fusion of Wormmon and the remaining memory data of Erica. So Hoodimmon could maybe be like a DNA digivolution between a Digimon and a Tamer? Or, if we take inspiration from Luminamon Nene version, we could use a Digicross instead. Playing out Hoodimmon for a cost would certainly be more balanced than a DNA digivolution, but would allow you to action everything in one turn straight away. And as Hoodimmon's attacks can poison enemies and heal allies, why not make her yellow in some way? On play when digivolving, for each of your Digimon with the Hoodie trait in your trash, give all of your opponent's Digimon minus 1000 DP. Then, if Erika Mishima is in this Digimon's Digivolution card, recovery +1. I think this would be a really interesting way to play Hoodimmon, and it would definitely be a cornerstone of a Hoodie traded deck. Going back to some potential Digimon that could appear in Time Stranger, we have never had a line for Chronomon in the card game. Now, there has been no confirmation that the Chronomon line will make an appearance in Time Stranger, but as Carney X has mentioned before in his videos, Chronomon's name is based on the ancient Greek personification of time. Chronomon equals Chronos equals Greek personification of time, Olympus 12, Greek, Time Stranger, time, you know, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, cheeky-greeky stuff. If the Chronomon line doesn't appear in Time Stranger, then it'd be great to see the line make an appearance in another set based on Digimon games akin to BT11, given its prominent inclusion in titles such as Digimon World DS and Digimon World Dawn and Dusk. Given that Chronomon had a bigger role in Digimon World DS, and we don't know if it will be in Time Stranger or what it might do, it's only fair to look at Digimon World DS for inspiration to create a custom card. And for this section's custom card, we're looking at Destroy Mode. Destroy Mode came about due to being awakened by the darkness in Kane's heart, and was to be used to destroy the human world by Unknown D. So to that effect, why not make this the ultimate destroyer of Tamers? When digivolving, once per turn, for every 10 cards between both players' trash, delete one of your opponent's Tamers. For each Tamer deleted by this effect, and if Chronomon Holy Mode is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trash the top of your opponent's security. If no Tamers were deleted by this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP instead. End of opponent's turn. If you have a Tamer King in play, this Digimon may digivolve into a Chronomon Holy Mode in the hand or trash, ignoring cost and ignoring Digivolution requirements. As for Chronomon Holy Mode, who is touted as being the ultimate holy Digimon, it could have a when digivolving effect that reads, when digivolving, recovery +1. Then, if Chronomon Destroy Mode is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 5k DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. End of opponent's turn. If you have a Kane in play, this Digimon may digivolve into Chronomon Destroy Mode in the hand or trash, ignoring cost and ignoring Digivolution requirements. Could these two be a little OP together? Possibly. But there'd be a fair whack of work to get up into and would require some setup. Plus, As I said earlier, I'm not here for game balance. Next, let's take a look at Digimon Liberator. Liberator has been such a massive part of the card game, and it'd be great to see the Chronomon line in the game, especially as we will most likely be seeing what they will all culminate into later this year. And given the large amount of Chronomon that appeared when it made its debut, it makes sense for this to be another 50 copies deck, with Chronomon, Mulemon, and Mockingbirdmon all being capable of being fielded at 50 copies. Let's look at Chronomon specifically. It'd be a white 3-play cost card that has an on-play and on-deletion to draw 2 and trash 1. It would also have an inheritable effect to simply increase the DP of this Digimon by 1000 DP. Very simple and generic, but then a lot of these 50 copies cards are. Now, given that we have already discussed Arcadium, let's look at V-Tamer. And who, in my opinion, is the single coolest Digimon in V-Tamer that hasn't been seen in the card game? Mother f***ing Regularmon. Not Regulusmon, or Regulecusmon, Regularmon. He is a Leomon who can fly. And on top of that, he is the only level 6 Leomon variant to not die. What a chad. As for what he would do, you could make this an ace that digivolves off a level 5 with Leomon in its name. You could also give it an Ogumon Bond of Courage / Gabumon Bond of Friendship condition to digivolve off of a Leomon if you have 3 or less security. As for his when digivolving an on-play effect, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with the highest DP to the bottom of the deck. You could also have an all turns effect that reads, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains plus 4000 DP until the end of the next turn. With blocker and security stat +1 as well, this card would show why Regularmon is the ultimate form of Leo. Oh, and we'd need to make sure it has a rule text to ensure it is treated as a Digimon with Leomon in its name, so we can search it. And maybe give it a piercing inheritable. I was tempted to give piercing to it as a keyword, but I kind of figured it'd be too many keywords for an ace. But maybe you guys let me know if that is true or not. Our next Digimon has technically made an appearance in the Digimon card game, but not as a Digimon card. In the artwork of the Nightmare Soldiers option card, you will find Noble Pumpkinmon. He could be great as future Nightmare Soldier support, or just another great card for the Puppet deck. Perhaps, for its when digivolving when attacking effect, it could work similarly to ST21 Metal Garurumon, playing out a level 4 or lower Digimon from your trash, but for every 10 cards in both players' trash, increase the level maximum of this effect by 1. All turns, if a Digimon is played by an effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a level equal or higher to the played Digimon. With Alliance, this Digimon would be super aggressive without necessarily being too OP. Besides, he's such a gentleman. Bandai, get this Mon in the game now! For this next slot, I am cheating a little bit. We have had plenty of Xantibody Digimon in the game, but there are still so many X forms that we still have yet to see in the card game. You have missing X variants for Royal Knights such as Kentorusmon and Craniumon, variants of classics such as Ogumon, Metal Tyrannomon, Mamemon, Metal Mamemon, Meramon, Monochromon, Betamon. There's a crap ton. So this is a little bit of a cop-out, but it's my list, screw you, I'll do what I want. The custom card I'm going to show you guys, thanks to my inordinate amount of copium, is Kentorusmon X. If you watched our previous custom card video about BT22, you'll know that I really want new support for Kentorusmon. It's just such a wacky deck, self-immolating itself to gain a lot of advantage. A Kentorusmon X could have Alliance, Barrier, and Blocker, a when digivolving / when attacking effect that, once per turn, by trashing one card from your security stack, play out one level 5 or lower Digimon from your hand or trash. Then, minus the DP of one of your opponent's Digimon by the amount of DP of the Digimon played by this effect. All turns, when security is removed from, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Aggressive, with aspects of control and board building? Yes, please. Our final Digimon keeps with the Xantibody theme, in a sense, and it is frankly criminal that we have not had it in the card game, at least from my perspective, as a Greymon stan. And this Digimon is Gaiomon Ito mode. We were so close to getting this with the EX4 Gaiomon, but just not quite. This would be an amazing level 7 for the Gaiomon deck, especially as we'll be getting dedicated Gaiomon support in BT22. It could be an ace akin to BT17 Crimson mode, but if you instead went the normal level 7 route, that would be just as cool, as the EX4 Gaiomon is actually future-proofed to be able to digivolve into one card with Gaiomon in its name and a playcost of 13 or more. And what does Ito mode have in its name? Fricking Gaiomon! Of course, this list was in no particular order, but you know I had to cap things off with a Greymon. As for what he would do, there's a lot of ways you could build it, but I would personally love to see it as a game ender. When digivolving, when attacking, delete this Digimon's playcost worth of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then, for every 2 Digimon or Tamers deleted by this effect, trash the top of your opponent's security. If this effect did not delete, trash your opponent's security up to the number of level 6 cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards instead. Then, this Digimon may attack. All turns, when security is removed from, this Digimon gains plus 4000 DP and is immune to your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's turn. Could this be unapologetically overpowered copium? Maybe. But I don't think you understand how much I want this card in the game. Gaiomon is one of my absolute favourite members of the Greymon family, and though I doubt we will get an Ito mode in BT22 as he did not appear in Cyber Sleuth, if we ever get some Re-Arise related support, know that I will be watching that set like a hawk. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I have to say, I am really enjoying these theorising videos as it's allowing me to take further deep dives into the franchise and really get my thinking cap on. These types of videos do take some serious time though, so I definitely appreciate a like and a subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other Digimon you would like to see make their debut in the card game. But until next time, keep it digital.